It's the government, it's the government, booyaka, booyaka. What's up and welcome to Delightful D News and Views. I'm your host DJ, and today I'm doing a special breakdown of the hit song De Gubbament by Tariq Nasheed. You'll want to watch to the end because the secret meaning of this song will surprise you. Before we do that, I'm going to ask you to go ahead and put a like on this video and make sure you subscribe. Tariq Nasheed dropped De Gubbament on February 6, 2022, and at this time it has more than 52,000 views. Now, no one expected this song to catch on, but it quickly became popular on Twitter and in the YouTube space. Now, what many may not know is that Tariq Nasheed is doing a parody of a common refrain that is heard throughout the African community in terms of why Africans often immigrate to countries like the United States of America, the UK, and so on and so forth. What we commonly hear is that it's the government, that there are oppressive and harsh regimes that cause Africans to leave their homelands and search out better opportunities abroad. So when African Americans and Africans begin the discourse on why Africans are so often able to be successful in America but not in their home countries, it's often determined that it was a result of the government. So why does this matter when African Americans and Africans are discussing how African immigrants present in the US? Well, that's a very good question, and I'm going to tell you why. The reason why this is important is because Africans have begun to use their newfound economic earnings in America, their newfound prosperity, and their newfound voice to often chastise African Americans about their lack of work ethic and family values. Because of this, African Americans have started to wonder why, if Africans have all the answers to our issues here in the States, well, why aren't they solving those very same issues in their own homelands? And that's a fair question, because Africans often have all the answers for African Americans, but no answers for what's going on in the current war in Ethiopia, or the current crisis in Nigeria, or no answers for what's happening in Cameroon. It is well known that the African continent has grappled with dictators and leaders that have been extremely harsh in their approach to governing their people. And as those governing systems continue to evolve, because they're quite young, we expect that we will see progress. But that begs the question as to whether Africans are bringing that kind of mentality to America. Is this unwillingness to see things from another perspective representative of what's going on the continent? Is this unwillingness to realize that there are certain unfair advantages that Africans have who are not born in this country that African Americans themselves do not possess? Saying that it's just the government takes away some of the accountability and responsibility of the individuals themselves who are coming here in search of a better life. We can see that the American government is by no means perfect and continually enacts policies that further contribute to the racial and economic divide in the United States of America. But Africans don't seem to recognize those issues within their new country. They don't seem to recognize the economic freezing that African Americans have endured and continue to endure to this day. Africans seem to believe that just working hard is enough to get ahead in America because it worked for them, but that's not really the case. Check out these reactions and I will come back with my final thoughts. check out these tweets with reactions and I will come back with my final thoughts. It seems that Africans fully understand why they had to leave their own countries due to government interference, but they don't seem to legitimize or recognize that very same government power when it comes to African Americans in the United States. And that appears to be contributing to a heavy divide between the two groups in understanding exactly who has a seat at the table and what that means overall. Another takeaway that many folks had from this video is that Africans and those in the Caribbean appear to be jovial, appear to be happy, and always ready to have a good time, which of course is admirable. It's an admirable approach to life. But that when it's time to get serious, it doesn't seem to be the same energy for their respective governments. African Americans have a long history of engaging in protest and engaging in resistance to government movements that negatively impact their community. And it appears that there's a disconnect when African Americans are looking to Africans to engage in a similar form of resistance. Africans have been extremely open that they are not going to stand outside and protest and sit in the rain and do sit-ins, and that they prefer a much more aggressive form of economic protest, which is not aligned with the African American worldview. This doesn't mean that either view is right or wrong. It just means that the two groups do not see eye to eye on how to best go about advancing their respective communities. So there you have it. The secret meaning of De Gubbament by Tariq Nasheed is to highlight the typical reason that African immigrants give for why they left their homeland instead of developing it. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you think it's fair that Africans criticize African Americans about a perceived lack of progress when they themselves are leaving their own countries? It's your time to sound off, so let me know in the comments below, and I will make sure to catch you on the next video. Thank you so much for watching.